Good morning and welcome to another bicycle live stream coming to you live from Tweed Heads. I've just ridden out to Pigabeen, to the Pigabeen village, I think that's what it's called, and Cobbicai. So a little bit cool at the moment, 14 degrees, and ridden 30 kilometres, and it's Saturday, August the 11th. I remember last week when I said it was still July, but it's August. So I'm riding back now towards the markets to get my organic fruit and veggies. And thank you for everyone that is joining me. I appreciate your support. So this morning's topic is it's child abuse to, as well as animal abuse, to not support your children's natural vegan journey. This is a topic that I find really, when I think about it, really sad to, thank you Barbara for watching. I find it really sad that the emotional abuse and torment that children are subject to simply for following what they know in their heart is correct. And Beck, thank you for watching. It's something that is played out in every day in households around the world, and it is one of the thing about emotional abuse is that it's harder to detect initially. It's not as prevalent as a physical abuse, but the ramifications long term are disastrous, basically. And it's something I feel very strongly about, and especially when it's connecting in with our vegan journey. So around the world, every day, in households around the world, and Samantha, thank you for watching, there are children that know from the youngest age that it is wrong to kill, that our moral obligation, our moral responsibility, morning Barbara, our moral responsibility is to preserve life at all costs, as much as we possibly can, and to fight against those that want to take life, to fight against evil, and to fight on the side of good. Children know this from the youngest age. This has been measured in countless tests and studies and observations, probably going back well over 100 years. And one of the things that children know from the youngest age is to treat others with this love and respect that we all want and deserve. And what we have in the world is a very sad situation where this is indoctrinated out of children at the youngest age, and this creates ramifications as the child grows and as the child becomes an adult. This creates massive problems when what they know in their heart is right to do is told by them, by their the adults in their life, that it is not the right thing to do. It sets up a major confusion and an emotional distress and a lack of self-belief and self-faith. And Amanda and Coral and Kerry, thank you for watching. And is one of the most revolting, I can't say but it's one of the most awful things a supposed guardian or parent or somebody that's meant to be teaching responsibility and life skills to the young. It's one of the most awful things that they can do is to say that no, it's don't believe in what your heart is telling you is the right thing to do. We need you to eat these dead animals that are on your plate. The child knows that this is wrong from the earliest age and is being presented with their first huge conundrum of how in life we say one thing but we do another. And this is emotional child abuse. It creates a society of people, Rani, thank you for watching, creates a society of misfits, unfortunately. People that are out of touch with their emotions because they've been told from the youngest age that it's wrong to believe in them. People that are carrying not only emotional dysfunction but a lot of anger because of this, anger towards the people that were supposed to love them, that they cannot feel close to. These, many times I've had conversations with people where they've actually said how this has been a big struggle for them growing up and how they were forced to eat animal products knowing what was going on and knowing it was wrong until they got to such an age where they could rebel and follow the wisdom in their heart. Leslie and Brandon, thank you for watching. So I am very, very firm on and very not polite about this, I guess, when it comes to saying that it is child abuse. I don't beat around the bush with this. It is something that if you really love someone, you would not force them against their will to be complicit in the slaughter of 8 million animals per hour, which is a figure that is, almost completely unfathomable. I was going to work it down to how many per minute that was, but it was just, it's like, how can we even begin to comprehend that figure? That's based on a figure of 190 million living beings slaughtered every single day simply for sense gratification, simply because we think that our taste buds for 5 seconds of pleasure are more important than the life of a living being that could have lived for decades and decades and decades. It is so evil a way of doing things. It is so barbaric, and it has now become unsustainable. It's ecologically destructive. It's health destructive to those that are consuming the products. And of course, it is the taking of a life that fought to its very last breath to survive. And this is not the same as, sometimes I hear so many justifications and so many excuses, and I had a bit of a debate this week with a couple of people about this, trying to justify the taking of life as if there is some justification for it. There is none. There is no argument. There never has been, never will be any justification for taking a life. It doesn't matter whether you think it's tasty. It doesn't matter whether you think it helps your health or not. You're talking about violating the single biggest right of a living being. Jamila and Lulu, thank you for watching. And we do not have a right to do this, nor do we have a right to indoctrinate our children into a belief system that is a cult of death, as I call it. A belief system that says, it's okay to do this because we've always done this. It's okay to do this because your parents do this. It's okay to do this because that's what society does. Well, thankfully, the times are changing. Thankfully, there is greater awareness around looking after the rights of those of the voiceless, being a voice for the voiceless. Thankfully, there is not just the social media presence that has created awareness, but also the mainstream media has now caught up on this, especially just in the last few years, which I'm really, really impressed with the mainstream media coming on board, because time is running out for the old system of supporting death and justifications and making excuses for it. Time is running out because we have an amazing shift in the young who no longer tolerate the BS that they were fed, or the BS that we as society were fed from a younger age. So it is really, really wonderful to see this change, this embracing of change from the young, who understand that at the most basic level, all life not only wants to live, but all living being has the right to live, and we do not have the right to take that from them. All living beings have interests, and mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters, and they have a life that they want to live, and they will defend themselves when attacked, and they will fight to their last breath to survive. They will do exactly what you and I would do in the same situation. And when we look into the eyes of another and we see that they feel that they deserve, then who are we to hurt them? How can we support this? As I posted on a photo of a cat with such sad eyes, and I said, when you see this same need that we all have to love and be loved, then that thus begins your vegan journey. Good morning, Effie. Because when we see this in the others, in another living being, our compassion and our empathy naturally reaches towards them. This is what we are born with. This is what we come into the world with as children. And it is very, very sad that parents try to force this out of children so that they feel less guilty themselves, because we all know on the deepest level in our heart what is right and wrong. Even when we've been indoctrinated out of it, it's still there reminding us, trying to remind us, trying to sort of get through if we would listen. And so as adults grow up and they embrace their selfish desires, they have to do the best they can to ignore this inner wisdom. And this creates psychological disturbances and emotional and also spiritual disconnect. Trish says, morning Harry, morning Trish, thank you for watching, and well said, thank you. I hope you're going well down there in Sydney. So that was the main point I wanted to make, that it's not acceptable, it never has been, and it is becoming less acceptable for parents to be abusers of their own children, because the world, and I'm back, lost connection then for a second. I envisage a day where we can actually call to task those that are still telling their children that it's all right to eat animal products. So that day is not far off. So thank you everyone for watching, and let's continue to be. So thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Remember to live vegan and save lives, and I'll speak to you soon. Ahimsa.